Hello, it's Gill Fielding, and this is what's caught my eye in the media this week. First of all, a real heartwarming tale of Owen Evans, who has just been promoted to be the new Chief Inspector of Schools in Wales. And just to set the scene with Owen, as a child, he was expelled from school for putting laxatives in cake that was meant for the teachers. So he came from one side of the coin on this particular issue, and he's now the Chief Inspector for Schools in Wales. And it's a lovely story, and it just goes to show that it doesn't matter where you are, where you started, what you got up to as a child, you can always turn your life around. And that's certainly true for Owen, and it's certainly true for me. I started life in the poor end of the East End of London and have turned my life around. And money certainly helps with that. And it's never too late to start getting your money sorted and getting your money in order and making a difference. And even if you slip off the wagon from time to time, you can easily get back on and keep going and make a difference. So well done, Owen Evans. One not very heartwarming story that caught my eye this week was about estate agents. Now, we don't really need any more reasons not to like estate agents, but I found one this week because Vue Rabbit is a new website which is apparently going to charge £30 to a person who wants to go and view a property. Now that's an interesting thing, isn't it? And of course, I understand why they're doing it because they get a lot of no-shows on property viewings. They also get a lot of what I would call tire kickers, people who just want to look around the property and have a nose. Well, welcome to my world, estate agents. In my business, we get a lot of no-shows. You get a lot of people going into, say, a dress shop, for example, with no intention to buy. They're just looking around at all the frocks that are in the shop. So business is full of people who don't show up, who don't do what you expect them to, and they're just there to have a bit of a nose around. And that's what human life is like, and that's what business life is like. As business owners, we need to accept that that's what human beings do and just concentrate on the few customers that do seriously want to look and buy. And I also understand why this estate agency is looking at that. And it's because at the moment, we've got virtually no properties up for sale and loads of people wanting to buy. So actually, demand is outstripping supply, and as a consequence, there's too few people chasing too few properties. But of course, at some stage in the future, and certainly in the past, the reverse has been true, and we've had an abundance of supply and no buyers. And in that particular case, are the estate agents going to pay us £30 to go and have a look around a property? I don't think so. So at the moment, the market is tight for estate agents. There'll be other times when it's a lot easier for them. Get over it, get used to it. It's part of a normal business cycle. I don't think anybody's going to pay £30 to go and view a property. And what will happen if people insist on making charges like that is that more and more people will sell their houses privately and buy houses privately, and estate agents will be cut out of the loop altogether. And I'm sure that's not what they want. So I suspect this charge will be dropped fairly soon. Well, it's been good news week all round for the economy, and the IMF have predicted that the UK economy is likely to grow by at least 7% in the next year, and that's the highest growth rate of any G7 country, and that's absolutely fantastic. The growth forecast is the highest that our economy has seen for 80 years, so it looks like we're set for good times ahead. But probably not for Tesco's in the financial services sector, because they announced this week that they're going to close all their remaining current accounts. They haven't got many left. And about 2 years ago, they sold off their mortgage book because that wasn't making them any money. Now they're closing the current account banking arm of their business. Marks and Spencer's are doing the same. They're closing their current accounts in August, I think. And it just goes to show that just because you're a huge supermarket, a huge retailer, that doesn't mean to say you're going to be successful in another sector of the economy and in another marketplace. But I admire them for trying, and it's what small business owners and small entrepreneurs do all the time. And it's what I call the core and explore strategy, because you have a core product or a core service, or as in the case of Tesco's, you're a retailer. And then you want to expand your business, so you explore other sectors of the economy. And in Tesco's, case they've explored the financial services and decided that that doesn't work for them. And it's a fairly high profile failing, I'll admit, but it's only what small to medium businesses do all the time. Have your core product, explore other sectors, explore other marketplaces, because that's often the best way to expand your business. Core and explore. Well, I read in the media this week on a website, there were 2 articles side by side on a website. One was headed up, Housing Market Cools. Right next door, only millimeters away from that headline, was another headline which says, house prices at new high. Well, which is it then? Are they cooling, or are they at a new high? I don't know. And you would only find out a bit more about it if you read the article in full. But I just highlight that because the media do cover property prices and the weather quite a lot. And it's always an easy headline, and it's always an easy article for a journalist or a media reporter to cover. Because we know that the UK public likes their property news, and they also like talking about the weather. So it's an easy article to write. I'd only just say, read them, enjoy them, have fun with them. That's all fine. I appreciate that. But of course, all the media outlet is trying to do is to get you to buy their newspaper or read their website. They're not really intending to educate you about the property market, for example, and all the details that goes into demand and supply and why a property market moves like it does, or very rarely are they interested in that. Whereas if you want to be a property investor, they're exactly the things that you need to be interested in. So this is just a sort of a beware notice, really. Read these articles, you know, lightheartedly and with a bit of fun, and appreciate what they are and what the media outlet is doing. But if you really want to understand the property market and how to invest and so on, you need to dig a bit deeper, go a bit further, get yourself educated and read some specialist type of information. Now, I've been enjoying the Olympics this week. I do love sport, as you probably already know. And I was watching the synchronized 3-meter diving competition this week, where 2 people, men in this particular case, leap off of a ironing board type of bouncy thing, leap up in the air, do loads of twists and twiddles and all the rest of it, and then enter the water like 2 pins. And that's how it's meant to work. This week, the Russian Olympic Committee pair, now don't they sound like they're a duo from the local council? Anyway, the Russian Olympic Committee pair didn't do exactly as all the others had done and as they would normally do. One of their participants went up in the air, did his 3 somersaults and then went into the water like a pin. The other one got a bit too close to the edge of the diving board, couldn't get any uplift, so fell off the end of the diving board. He did manage to do 3 somersaults, but then went into the water in what I can only call the downward dog pose. So it wasn't quite a belly flop, but it was almost. And I applauded. I was sitting here watching it, and I thought it was the most entertaining dive I've seen all week. It was absolutely fantastic, and of course quite funny to watch. And I was watching and waiting for the scores to come up, and they scored an absolute 0, nothing. And I was saying to myself, that's unfair. One of the people did it perfectly, and okay, the other one didn't quite do it perfectly, but he did manage 3 somersaults and he fell off the end of the diving board. And okay, he went in sort of in on his hands and knees, but you know, I would have gone in on my backside, I reckon. So I thought they deserved a lot more than 0. And then the commentator said that they'd scored a 0 because it had been classed as a failed dive. And apparently a failed dive means you don't go in hands first. And just for that simple thing, they scored a 0. And it got me to thinking about life, really, because there are some things that you do where it doesn't really matter if you don't get it quite right. I don't know, say, for example, you're an artist, you know, if you paint a picture and, you know, you've got one ear slightly squiffy, it's not going to hurt anybody. But there are other parts of our life, and I would certainly put property investing and the economy in that. If you don't get it exactly right, you score nothing and you don't succeed. And with property investing, there's all sorts of things like gas safety certificates, Article 4, licensing, EICR reports, EPC reports, all kinds of stuff. And if you don't get those exactly right, you don't get any tenants and you don't get any money and you get nothing. So if you are in a type of activity where it matters that you get everything right, then get everything right. Get yourself educated, learn how to do it, get the experience and get everything right. And like the Russian divers and property investors, they're both in activities where it matters that you stick to the rules. Have a great week, and I'll see you next time.